client. Every summit when it comes to technology, everybody wants to be there, wants to know the latest invention, what is coming new, what is to come. Because with automation comes with creating new jobs and increasing efficiency across various sectors. Like Amazon in particular, Amazon have been working their ass out just to adopt technology in their logistic business. And in certain climes, it has been fruitful, cutting down jobs, getting, automated robots to do these jobs. And it's kind of good, but somehow cutting down the human intervention, creating less jobs, and if there is no proper intervention, probably even the automated, robots might not be safe, because when so many people are out of jobs, they tend to do things irrationally just to, survive. And even your technology might not even be safe the moment you start cutting jobs, because companies are trying to cut off, workforce, trying to adopt technology. Fine, it can lead to increased productivity, but what happens to the individual? That has been the concern of Elon Musk in previous times, where he talks about when artificial intelligence takes over, the government will have to keep paying individuals to live their life. Then certain crises might occur unknown to you, because the job displacement and economic inequality that is caused by automation can reshape the workforce, where there will be high demand but low supply. High demand but low supply. And mind you, there are certain jobs that even AI cannot do, artificial intelligence cannot do. So what happens when there are so many demands for these jobs but the spaces are limited? Crisis might erupt. Data privacy is also a concern, because let's emphasize on this. Data privacy. Although I would also want to commend the European Union for trying to intervene on so many issues when it comes to data privacy, because the privacy of any individual is something that shouldn't be taken for granted. It should not be taken for granted, because everyone has a right to his or her own privacy. But with certain interference of individuals' privacy is alarming. Because before you can invade someone's privacy, there has to be a consent, which is why the European Union is coming up with series of laws, whereby individual has to give consent for some certain things. If they don't give their consent, you can't do anything. And that's basically how it's supposed to be. You have to consent to it, because data privacy is something that shouldn't be taken for granted, because there could be potential misuse of personal information in the digital age. Potential misuse of personal information. Have you seen a scenario whereby you just, you come across a website, you do some registration, maybe you input your phone numbers, your emails, and after a certain period of time, you start getting, spam calls or emails on something that was not even related to what you tried to apply for. You keep getting calls and calls and calls. That's misuse of personal information by third party. And mind you, this data is being sold to third parties. That is the problem. So most times when you see strange messages, strange calls, it is because your data has been sold to a third party, and which is a call for concern. It's a call for concern. So talking about as well the ethical, implication of emerging technologies. When we talk about AI, gene editing, now they are talking about cloning. They want to talk about how they will use, certain things on individuals. You have to live for you to live long, and there are so many ethical implications of these emerging technologies. Fine, they do good, but flipping the coin, you discover that there are so many ethical, implications. If not properly checked, can go out of hand. Which is why there's a need for ethical guidelines and regulations to govern the development and use of these emerging technologies. Technology is good. And without technology, it won't be life. Your phones won't work. So, but there should be a borderline between your privacy and also the ethical implication that might come from using these technologies. Which is why you see so many guidelines is coming up, regulations. You have the EU regulations, the American regulations. So everybody is trying to regulate what these technologies can do, what it should do. Because without these proper guidelines, it's as good as nothing. Because the potential misuse is inevitable. That's just it. It's inevitable. In as much as the government, individuals, stakeholders, they are pushing for technology, the advancement of technology, there's also something that they are failing to do, which is investing in education and skills development to prepare for this changing job market. Because very soon there are so many jobs that will go obsolete because technology can do them. So many jobs will go obsolete. So many jobs will go obsolete. So what are they doing to invest in education and skills development to prepare individuals for these shifts? Because as these technologies are advancing, the market is shifting. Very soon, even the factory workers won't be there anymore because you have automation, automated robots running, whatever that is going on around. And most companies are willing to spend millions to adopt this automation, because just imagine you do the automation and that's it. You are not paying anybody monthly wages, monthly salary. Definitely you would want to spend more, to acquire this technology. That way you won't be paying staffs, you won't be paying salaries, you have the money to yourself. As the market is changing, what happens? Which is why you see so many people are reluctant to work. Nobody wants to work anymore. When you speak to an average person, they just tell you, I don't want to work. I just want to explore. That's the Gen Zs for you. They don't even give a damn about whatever that is going on, what the government is saying. It's none of their business. What they just want is just live their lives, and that's just it. So regardless, there still needs to be sensitization and skills development, because the truth be told, technology cannot do everything. Automation cannot do everything. There are certain jobs that they can't do. Probably in time to come they will be able to, but not now. But not now. So it's a call to action. It's a call to action. Because the future of our world is at stake. The future of our world is at stake, and if something is not done about it, we'll just be here and no privacy. All your information is being collected, distributed, sold to third parties, and you just be looking. Sometimes you get messages, you get calls, and you're like, okay, how did you get my number? How did this person get my number? Why am I receiving this message? So there's no privacy anymore. Even the apps we are using, sometimes there's this struggle between your privacy and whoever it is that wants to get into it. So it is important to embrace change, but definitely you need to address some certain downsides about these changes. Change is good, but regardless of how you're saying it, definitely there are downsides to these changes when it comes to technology. There are downsides to it. We are shifting to artificial intelligence where now you don't even need a doctor to understand what is wrong with you anymore. No more long queues. So what happens to the doctors? Definitely they will have patients. They will definitely have patients they will tend to, and patients they would even that would come to them, definitely. But definitely with the advent of these technologies, sometimes you don't even need a doctor. You can just follow, or you go to OpenAI. It's more or less as if you are having a conversation between you and what was it called, and your doctor. You just be talking, and they will make you feel as if you are talking to a real person. When it comes to ChatGPT, OpenAI, and other technology out there, artificial intelligence out there, which is then imputed to create this technology that we are seeing today. So it has its own downside, but still, what do we do? Technology is good. The advancement of technology is good. Everybody wants technology to be on board. Everybody wants to be among those that will be talking about how technology impacted their life. But still, there are downsides to it. So many downsides to technology, and it's good anyway. One of the major downsides is just the privacy. It matters a lot. Privacy matters a lot. When you don't have your privacy, and like me, I've done series of registration on certain sites, but now my phone doesn't even. There's no resting time for my phone. Number keeps calling, and sometimes when you pick, nobody's speaking. Maybe after 3-5 seconds it just ends, and you're like, okay, why are these numbers? You keep blocking and blocking, the number keeps calling and calling. So privacy is out of it. It's just out of it. Sometimes you just get a call and they'll mention your name. Oh, is this not so and so? Like, seriously, how? oh, you've been this, you've been that, just change